Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another video with the Transfer Portal CFB presented by NoContextCFB. Liam Blutman here, and as always, doing something psychotic. I wrote up one player from every single bowl game that you need to look out for. I did this last year in written form. I thought this year, why not? Let's go YouTube. Let's do a video for it. Our guy Matt is doing the article version of this, so if you're upset, then the Bahamas Bowl, I didn't pick a Miami of Ohio player. Matt is writing about a Miami of Ohio player, so look out for that article that will drop soon. But yes, it's December 12th. Opt-outs will happen. I am trying to pick around those. Transfer portal's a thing. People could leave. I'm sorry, I can't really predict the future. Only kind of, though. I could kind of predict the future. Like, I could tell you who's going to go off. Like, that I could do. But the brain of Liam Blutman's, it's tough. You wouldn't get it. Please make sure to like and subscribe before I get into this, starting with the Bahamas Bowl, because I'm going in order of when the bowl games kick off, because that's the only way I do it. Please make sure to consider liking and subscribing. I appreciate it a lot. And yes, you need to look out for UAB running back Dwayne McBride in the Bahamas Bowl. He is the FBS's leading rusher, 1,713 rushing yards, 19 rushing touchdowns, 7.4 yards per tote. He is clearly the top small school running back in the upcoming draft if he so chooses to enter it, which you should, man. You're like a top 3 back in the class, in my opinion. He has great power in his legs. He's got superb leg drive and determination. He's a thick back with solid speed, but all the heart you could ask for, exceptional toughness and tremendous strength. He even won our Colt Brennan Award, which we hand out to the top player in Group of 5. He's that good, folks. He's got really good cutting agility, too. Super agile and has great lateral movement. Parts of his game that I think are very underrated. This is a guy that will have you in awe, just shock and awe each and every week. There are multiple runs that he's made this season that could only be compared to Marshawn Lynch in the Beast Quake, the Beast Mode. Like, seriously, some of these runs that he makes are so difficult to comprehend. There's one thing where he has this clip out this year where it's like he's in the Matrix. It doesn't even make sense how his body was able to contort in such a way, and he was able, I don't know. I'm speechless watching Dwayne McBride. I think he's exceptional. I think he's going to be an absolute stud in the NFL one day. We'll move on to the Cure Bowl. I'm looking at UTSA wide receiver Zachary Franklin. Yes, someone else that I'm very high on. He had 86 catches this season for 1.1K, 14 receiving touchdowns as well. When you get to the red zone, look no further than throwing it to Z's way, because you know he's about to make a play. He's an athletic freak that makes these jaw-dropping catches like it's nothing. He's developed into more of an all-around wideout, and he projects as a definite NFL draft pick. He has marvelous body control. He's got immaculate hands and insane concentration. He mosses dudes like it's his job. I think that Zachary needs to leave for the NFL after this bowl game. I think he'd be a surefire draft pick. And I do worry about him returning. I think that's great for college football and everything, but he would be a 24-year-old rookie if he were to stay at UTSA for next season. So 2024 draft, be 24 years old as a rookie. Don't love that. That kind of really hinders you in draft value and everything. I would leave now. I'd take the money. I would ball out in the NFL as a rookie in 2023. That's no doubter in my opinion. Let's move on to the Fenway Bowl. Cincy versus Louisville. He could opt out, but I gotta go with Cincinnati linebacker Ivan Pace Jr. He was a Bednar finalist, 119 tackles, 18 and a half tackles for loss, 8 sacks, 4 pass deflections. He's been a rising draft prospect that balled out at Miami of Ohio the last few years. He was so good in 2021. He transferred up to Cincy, and he had an even better and more prolific season playing at the higher level. He's a pass rushing extraordinaire that wins with swiftness and crazy closing speed. I project him as an edge at the next level. I think he's going to play a lot more edge than linebacker. I could be wrong, but that's my personal view. Ivan Pace Jr. is an absolute menace, dude. Like, watch out for this kid if he is actually going to play in the Fenway Bowl again. He could opt out. Future, I'm not that so Raven, so I can't tell. I'm sorry. Celebration Bowl, HBCUs, Jackson State and NC Central. Yes, I could pick someone from Jackson State, but you need to look out for NC Central quarterback Davius Richard. He's 184 for 291 this season, 2,486 passing yards, 24 touchdowns to 10 picks, had 691 rushing yards and 13 rushing touchdowns. This guy has scored a touchdown on every 18 plays. He has 371 touchdowns on 691 snaps. Every 18 plays, he's been able to score a touchdown. You need to look out for the MEAC Offensive Player of the Year. He's quick and will run you over like a freight train. He makes big-time throws to the sideline from the opposite hash. Potential transfer candidate here. If he really balls out on the stage against a defense as good as Jackson State's, he could really garner a lot of interest in the transfer portal and move up to the FBS. Las Vegas Bowl. This one's easy. Florida running back Trevor Etienne. Like, this guy's career trajectory is only going to keep shooting up. And yes, this is the brother of Travis Etienne, who you saw ball out Clemson, ball out with the Jaguars now. Trevor is significantly good. He had 110 carries this year for 705 and 6 touchdowns, 6.4 yards per carry as a true freshman. Trevor, stop it. You're ridiculous. He looks like a surefire NFL player. I think he's been one of the best true freshmen in the country. He's up there in the top 3 at running back and true freshman for sure. He's slippery. He's explosive. He's a home run threat. Fantastic lateral movement. His footwork is crazy, too. He's only going to become a better receiver as the years go by. Buy stock in Trevor Etienne now, or I don't know. Like, this ain't going to be a GameStop stock. Like, this guy going Tesla, maybe? I don't know. Trevor Etienne is really good, though. Jimmy Kimmel, LA Bowl. I'm looking at Washington State quarterback Cameron Ward. 298 for 465 this season, 3,094 passing yards, 32 touchdowns to 8 interceptions, added 5 on the ground. I'm very eager to see how Cam plays in his final game of 2022. It's been a kind of up and down year for him, for someone that has so much hype coming over from Incarnate Word. He's also going to be playing this game without his top receiver, Dejon Stribling, so that's interesting. A little portal pieces moving around. Ward is a dynamic talent with a great arm, and his movement in the pocket is crazy. We're looking for him to put together a big-time game here and build some huge momentum going into 2023 as he looks to blossom into one of the best quarterbacks in the country. If he has a big-time game here, people won't stop talking about him until the end of August. And then they'll probably still start to keep talking about him because college football season is starting. You see what I'm saying? Lending Tree Bowl. Easy one again. Southern Miss wide receiver Jason Brownlee is probably the fastest guy that you've never heard about. 52 catches for 819 receiving yards and 7 receiving touchdowns this season. Played at world-famous East Mississippi Community College before going to Southern Miss. He look again, he's going to be the fastest player on the field in this game. I think he's a very good sleeper in the upcoming NFL draft. Thanks to that supreme speed, he's 6'3" as well. He brings great traits to the table, such as aggressive high pointing and elite tracking ability. Jason Brownlee, like, get familiar with the name now. This is someone that you could see catching a touchdown or two in 2023 in the NFL. Like, I think he's a very slept-on player because where he plays in the offense that he plays, it's kind of like Tyquan Thornton to me. I think that he's going to be a better pro than the production would suggest in college. Just saying. New Mexico Bowl, SMU receiver Dylan Goffney had 18 catches for 369 and 2 touchdowns this season. I don't expect Rashee Rice to play in this game, especially when you factor in that he played the entire season on a broken toe. I also do expect SMU to hit up the portal for a receiver or two. Goffney, you've got to make a statement here and show SMU that you're capable of being that potential WR1 next year now that they don't have one when Rice is gone. And paying the portal, they don't have one right now. He's a speedy wideout that is continuing to develop and build his route tree. Hey, man, he could be the WR1 next year. He might not be. Depends on what they bring in. He could be a very good WR2 for SMU, though, next year. Look out for Goffney in this game. Expect him. BYU's defense is terrible. The secondary is terrible. Expect Goffney to have a pretty solid game, maybe a very good game, and show that he's worthy of being at the top of SMU's depth chart next season. Frisco Bowl. Easy. Again, easy. It's Boise State quarterback Taylor Green. He was 153 for 249 this season, 1,905 passing yards, 13 touchdowns, 6 picks, and 8 touchdowns on the ground. He's a 6'6" unicorn. Mountain West, freshman of the year. He didn't start the year. He forced Tank Bachmeier to transfer out because he could not keep this talent on the bench. He's an exceptional athlete that takes massive strides. He still has a ways to go as a thrower, but he's been improving each and every week, and then had a struggle fest in the Mountain West title game against Fresno State. Expect him to bounce back and build very strong momentum going into 2023. He's going to be a wildly popular player next season. So get on the bandwagon now. Like I got on the bandwagon when I saw him against Oregon State in the season opener. If he takes the necessary steps and becomes a better passer, all I'm saying is look out. There will be NFL draft type. He's a 6'6" beast that could run anybody he wants over, takes insanely good strides. If he could put the passing together and become consistent and throw a nice deep ball and throw from the far hash to the sideline, Taylor Green's going to be an NFL draft like the NFL draft fans are going to gush over Taylor Green is all I'm saying. Myrtle Beach Bowl, a name that you have not heard of, I guarantee it. Marshall defensive back Dateon Smith, 15 tackles and 3 pass breakups this season. That's it. He's a former wide receiver turned corner. Marshall has such a good defense. And I've talked about Stephen Gilmore and Micah Abraham all year long and all summer long coming into the season. Those two guys are NFL corners, and they're going to be leaving after this season. I don't think either of them should play in this bowl game. Look out for Dateon Smith to show, yo, I'm next. I truly believe that this guy is next in line and will emerge as a high caliber player soon enough. Really good pass disruptor, tremendous athlete, great combination of size and speed, legit ball hawking skills. Dateon Smith. Remember the name. Marshall Corner. Remember that name. If you ain't repeating it in your head right now, what are you doing? We're on to the Potato Bowl, everyone's favorite bowl. San Jose State receiver Elijah Cooks, 63 catches, 983 receiving yards, 10 touchdowns. He's an older wideout that has been through plenty in his collegiate career, including back-to-back season-ending injuries at Nevada in 2020 and 2021. He's just a confident 6'4" wideout that makes fascinating catches every single week. He's got a couple catches this year that are going to be in the end-of-season highlight clip for the best catches of 2022. Cooks just makes these catches look easy. Boca Raton Bowl, Toledo cornerback Quinyon Mitchell, someone I hyped up going into the season. He's got 40 tackles, 5 interceptions, 20 pass breakups this year. 20 pass breakups. He had a 4 interception game versus Northern Illinois this season. 2 pick sixes in that game. That's what got him on the map for most college football fans. He displays elite instincts and flashes brilliant game knowledge. He tackles very well. Really good closing speed. Remarkable at disrupting passes again. What was the number? 20 pass breakups this season. Unbelievable. I won't be surprised if he enters the portal before, during, or after this game. Ahead of his true junior season. He's going to be playing on Sundays. If he enters the portal, there will be a long line of teams lining up for him. Dan Mullen commentated one of his action games this year and even said himself, when I was at Florida, we were looking at this kid. If Quinyon enters the portal, he's getting SEC offers. You best believe that. He's that good. So don't trip over the fact that he plays for a MAC school. He's an NFL player. And MAC players, MACtion men prove time and time again. We're getting the NFL too, so stop sleeping. New Orleans Bowl, Western Kentucky receiver Malachi Cordy, 90 catches for 1,181 receiving yards, 9 touchdowns this season. Very impressive redshirt sophomore. second in the FBS with 9.2 yards per target. He's not getting much around the line of scrimmage. He's going downfield, getting to the middle and intermediate routes, and he's working real well. 920 yards gained after the catch, first in the FBS. So what does Malachi Corley's Twitter bio say? Yak monster at Western Kentucky. Yeah, checks out. Dynamic with the ball in his hands. So shifty, so tough. Very plus athlete. He belongs on an NFL roster one day. Armed Forces Bowl, way off the path here. I'm going with a true freshman receiver at Baylor, Armani Winfield. He had one catch this year. One catch this year for 10 yards. True freshman that played in 3 games this season. Bowl season provides this rare opportunity for young players who haven't seen much action to get on the field and show a glimpse of what they could be in the future. If Winfield gets on the field, I expect them to make a play or two and show of what the future could hold. Show why, hey, I should have been playing more as a true freshman. I need to be playing a lot in my sophomore season. He's got great hands, good speed, can stretch the field vertically. Look out for Armani Winfield. If it ain't happening in this Armed Forces Bowl, then look out for him in 2023 because he's going to be a menace. Independence Bowl, this is, again, I'll go back to an easy one. It's Tank Dell, Houston receiver. He's going to the NFL draft after this game, and he said, like, yo, I'm actually going to play in this game. I'm not going to opt out. Respect that. 103 catches for 1,354 receiving yards and 15 touchdowns this season. Should have been in the Biletnikoff top 4, I think. Like, he should have been up there close to being a finalist. He's averaging 11.9 targets per game. Clayton Tune trusts this guy with his life. He led the FBS with 9.5 yards per target. He's an electric wideout with extreme juice, quick, sudden, violent movement, has long legs, very long legs, and accelerates at a rapidly quick speed, marvelous hands, tracks the ball very well. Just oozes confidence. He has so much swagger. Don't call him Nathaniel, by the way. He hates that. His name is Tank Dell. It ain't Nathaniel. And he will be playing on Sundays. Expect him to impact in the return game, too, when he gets to an NFL team. Gasparilla Bowl. Mizzou wide receiver and true freshman Luthan Burden. Third, 38 catches for 329 and 5 ties this season. He has one of the brightest futures in our sport. I expected more production from him this season, but I think that was unfair of me to expect that from a true freshman that's playing for Mizzou in the SEC. Like 38 for 329, 5 touchdowns, pretty solid. Can't hate on it. This guy's an absolute menace with the rock in his hands. He does nutty work after the catch. He can make significant catches with his eyes closed. I'm not lying to you. And he's just he's in store for a huge 2023 season. So hop on that bandwagon now. Hawaii Bowl. MTSU wide receiver DJ England Chisholm. 22 catches this season for 359 and 4 touchdowns. That's 16.3 yards per catch. He is the fastest player in this game. He is 5'7", 150 pounds, if that. He might be 5'5", 135 for all I know. In the upset win at Miami, he had 2 catches for 2 touchdowns. Want to take a guess at how long those receptions were? I'll wait 2 seconds. All right, that might have been more than 2 seconds. 71-yard receiving touchdown and 98-yard receiving touchdown against the U. Against a stout SDSU defense, let's see if DJ England Chisholm could beat the defense, break free over the top, and spark a big play for MTSU. The Quick Lane Bowl. Another receiver. You might be noticing a theme here. Might be why I'm a Biletnikoff voter. Weird flex, but okay. Quick Lane Bowl. Bowling Green wide receiver Odu Hilaire. 54 catches for 704 and 6 touchdowns this season. He himself has a potential catch of the year candidate from the game against Marshall when he sunned Micah Abraham. He's like a volcano. You just never know when Mount Hilaire is going to erupt. Intriguing skill set. He's splendid after the catch and has the ability to make big-time grabs thanks to remarkable tracking ability and freakish athleticism. This is a guy that was at Alabama A&M just a few years ago. At Bowling Green, he put on some really good NFL tape. I don't think he's going to get drafted, but I think he's very worthy of UDFA looks and eventually getting onto the field sometime and showing that yo, I'm that guy. Like, I really can't play at the highest level. Malleable. No brainer here. It has to be Georgia Southern quarterback Kyle Van Treese. You know why it's so obvious. He had 342 completions on 558 attempts this season, 3,895 passing yards, 25 touchdowns, 15 picks. Sickos Kame, like they know he's a Detmer guy for a reason. This is a former Buffalo quarterback that just led Georgia Southern to a bowl game in his first season there. So yes, obviously I'm picking the quarterback that's playing against the program that he was at for like 4 years. He totaled for 25 touchdown throws in his Buffalo career, and he just threw for 25 in his only year at Georgia Southern. Think about that. It's going to be very fun to see him just compete against his former program that he poured his heart and soul into from 2017 and 2021. Nicknamed the Ginger General. Best nickname in the sport. I might be biased, but I think it is. He plays a fun brand of football as long as you're not a fan of either team that's playing, because he's going to make big time throws, but he's going to take big time risks, and big time interceptions happen for the other team. So he's got that gunslinging mentality, and he's fun to watch. He's got a very strong arm. First responder ball. Quindell Johnson, the safety at Memphis, 73 total tackles, 4 interceptions, 4 pass breakups, 2 forced fumbles this season. Exceptional safety and a big-time NFL prospect, in my opinion. He's a big-time sleeper. He's a playmaker that just makes tackles at a high level and has very, very good closing speed. He's going to rise up draft boards in the pre-draft process, and that starts with a big game against Utah State. Birmingham Bowl. East Carolina running back Kean Mitchell. I could be old takes exposed for this because he could hit the transfer portal the second I'm recording this video, or he could enter the NFL draft. I don't know, but there is not a more fun player in this game. 179 carries for 1,325 rushing yards and 13 touchdowns this season. He added 25 catches for 237 receiving yards. Highly productive player that is just amidst the process of blossoming into a superstar. He reached 22.6 miles per hour on about an 80-yard touchdown this season. Like he should have been pulled over for speeding. A human run 22.6 miles per hour ain't right. Navigation skills are off the charts too. He's like the human equivalent to a GPS. He boasts pristine patience, breathtaking burst, and extreme elusiveness. Top 3 most underrated player in the country, Keaton Mitchell. Remember that name because he's going to be on your fantasy team someday. Guaranteed rate bowl. Way off the path here. Oklahoma State wide receiver Talon Shetron. True freshman. 2 catches for 21 receiving yards and a touchdown this season. I believe that the touchdown was from Gunnar Gundy against University of Arkansas Pine Bluff. With this being the final game of the season, I'm eager to see if Talon receives more playing time, especially with Spencer Sanders at quarterback transferring out. So he's out of the mix at quarterback. Now you're looking at Gunnar Gundy and Garrett Rangel, 2 young quarterbacks. We need to build confidence with young receivers so they have that going the next few years. I expect Shetron to get more playing time in this game and build that chemistry with one or both of them. Talon's already deserving of more PT because of his tenacity as a blocker. He's got phenomenal speed, as evidenced by a background in track and field. Big play downfield threat. He high points very well. I think he's a top 60 pick in the NFL draft when he leaves. I think Talon Shetron is that good. Military ball. Duke quarterback Riley Leonard. Want to talk about another guy that's going to rise up draft boards? Because we're talking about him right now. 231 completions on 364 attempts this season, 2,794 passing yards, 20 touchdowns, 6 picks. He adds a quality ground game as well. He rushed for 11 touchdowns, about 5.5 or 5.6 yards per carry, something around there. I really like his poise. I really think that this is going to be a guy that rises up draft boards going into the 2024 draft. Going into the 2023 season, you're going to start to hear people like the murmurs, like Riley Leonard, and they're deservedly so. He's already like such a better prospect than Daniel Jones ever was coming out of Duke. It's going to be a shame if Riley Leonard never receives that same hype. He throws an impressive deep ball with outstanding touch. I love how he knows exactly when to throw a ball with plenty of zip and when to just take it off and loft it in there. He's just 20 years old. He's wise beyond his years. Riley Leonard is a dog. Liberty Bowl, our Kansas. You have Kansas versus Arkansas. Kansas running back Devin Neal, 171 totes this year for 1,061 rushing yards, 9 rushing touchdowns. He added 19 for 160 and a receiving touchdown in the receiving game. Like, this just happens to be a common theme where I think there's a lot of really good pass catching running backs that just maybe don't get the volume that they deserve in the receiving game. Kind of stinks. Against Oklahoma State this season, he had a nutty performance, and he was able to join Christian McCaffrey, Steve Slayton, and Joe Mixon as the only Power 5 running back since 2000 to run for 200 plus and haul in 100 plus receiving yards in the same game. Elite company for Devin Neal. He becomes a draft eligible prospect next season, and he plays for a KU offense that sees the top 2 QBs get plenty of love. The love needs to be spread. Neal needs more of it. He continues to thrive and prove, like, yo, I'm that guy, pal. He provides a spark all the time. He's got game-changing speed and elite burst. Because of the dynamic receiving ability and the addition to his like combination of quickness and toughness as a runner, he's going to be a very coveted NFL prospect. Speaking of coveted NFL prospects, the Holiday Bowl player even need an introduction. UNC quarterback Drake May, 324 for 482 this season, 4,115 passing yards, 35 touchdowns, the 7 picks. Yeah, Drake, we get it. You're good. It's hard to choose anyone else on UNC, especially with how many guys are missing this game due to, going to the draft, hand up the portal, injury, But yeah, this game should have a lot of points scored, and it provides May a rare opportunity to show all college football fans his talent. He gets to showcase the ability on the national stage in the Holiday Bowl against a big-time brand in Oregon. UNC calls too many QB runs for my liking. I know Phil Longo's out now, so maybe they won't anymore, but stop doing that. Like, let this guy just throw. He's already moving extremely well in the pocket, and he throws on the run at a high level. We don't need these designed Tebow, JT Barrett design runs for Drake May. We don't. He's made a multitude of NFL throws this season. Impeccable accuracy, remarkable touch, effortless throwing motion. His throwing motion is just pure. And he's better than lethal inside the red zone. Look at how good his deep ball is when you watch him in 2023. Texas Bowl, Texas Tech receiver Miles Price. He had a decent year, 48 catches for 478 and 2 touchdowns. I thought he'd do a whole lot more, especially in Zach Kitley's offense. It's the final game of his junior season. He needs to make a statement going into his senior year. I'm really high on him. He does so many things so well, but he just can't seem to put together a banger of a performance or to consistently put together good outings week to week. I advise offensive coordinator Zach Kitley to create opportunities for Price in this game. Just get him the ball in his hands like you did for Jarrett Stearns at Western Kentucky. He's an incredible athlete. He plays bigger than his size would suggest. He's very good after catching. He just makes so many jaw-dropping grabs. There's one where Donovan Smith throws him a dot on the sideline against Iowa State, I believe, and it's remarkable that he held onto the ball after getting hit straight to the head. Pinstripe Bowl, Minnesota cornerback Justin Wally, 33 tackles, 3 interceptions, 2 pass breakups this season. Impressive corner with big-time potential. He radiates brilliant intelligence, and he's an aggressive disruptor. He'll be on the NFL draft boards. He becomes draft eligible next season. Justin Wally. Cheez-It Bowl. Well, you can't miss this guy. It's Florida State receiver Johnny Wilson, 35 catches for 695 and 5 touchdowns. He's a 6'7" wideout, man. He's been a matchup nightmare all year long. And after some struggles at ASU, he's transcended it. He's really turned into a very quality receiver who's just improved his entire all-around game. He's been stronger. He's been tougher this year. He's sure-handed. His footwork is so good, too, for his size. Vertical threat was really good long speed. You expect that from a guy that Seems like he's taken up 10 yards with what, one stride? It's crazy. Alamo Bowl, look no further than Washington quarterback Michael Penix Jr. 330 for 500 this year, 4,354 passing yards. A lot of numbers. I'm sorry for stumbling. 29 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. The FBS leader in passing yards. Like, he was robbed of a trip to New York City for the Heisman ceremony, but tune into the Alamo Bowl to witness the show you've missed out on all season. The Alamo Bowl, year in and year out, is like my favorite bowl game. It's chaotic. Offenses are going crazy. It's fun. You're going to see some offense in this game. You're going to see sparks. You're going to see high flying attack. He might have made more NFL throws than any other quarterback in the country this season. He throws a pristine deep ball down the sideline, uber confident, unafraid, and he's moving solid despite his previous injuries. It's been really cool. As someone who's skeptical of Penix in years past, it's been really cool to see him blossom into an NFL worthy quarterback and revitalize his career after the injuries he suffered. And he does a very good job of giving his wideouts opportunities to make plays after the catch, thanks to elite ball placement. The Mayo Bowl. I know everyone wants to see Mike Locksley or Dave Doran get some mayo dumped on them after this game, but we're looking for Maryland offensive tackle Jalen Duncan to have a big game. I don't think he's going to opt out. I wouldn't be surprised if he does, but my personal hunch is he will play in this game because I think he needs it. I think he needs to show the FL evaluators, like, yeah, I'm your dude, and we're going up against a tough defense here in NC State. Put on some more good tape. The more good tape, the better. So I see no reason why he shouldn't play in this game. I love his mobility and wicked athleticism. Think he's got really strong footwork. His leg kicks on pass pro snaps are very good. He showed flashes of greatness against Aiden Hutchinson back in 2021. I had him 10th overall in version 1 of my mock draft in September. I didn't have him in the first round, my most recent mock, because Broderick Jones and DeJuan Jones and Cody Mauch all overtook him. He could very well be in that first round conversation. I won't be surprised if he's a top 20 or top 25 pick at the end of the day when we're drafting 2023. I think he really needs to play in this game, though, and show that wicked talent off. Sun Bowl, again, we're going, you have no idea who I'm picking. I guarantee when I tell you that, okay, you're just going to say, what, who? UCLA running back TJ Harden, 33 carries for 214 rushing yards and 1 touchdown this season. He burst onto the scene against Cal late in the year. He ran for 6.5 yards per carry and limited play as a true freshman. Eyebrows, and eyes light up. I am all in. He's 6'2". He's 210-pound freak that excites on every single touch. He moves very well for his size. He's a feared downhill runner with big time power. And he's going to be a force in 2023 once he starts accumulating more touches. I don't expect Zach Charbonnet to play in this game. I don't expect DTR to play in this game. There should be a lot of opportunity for rushing ability and everything in this game. So, TJ Harden, show up and show out. Show UCLA why they don't need to hit up the portal for a transfer. You're their RB1 2023. I believe it. They need to believe it now too. Show them why. Gator Bowl. True freshman. Benjamin Morrison, Notre Dame cornerback. 30 tackles, 5 interceptions, 4 pass breakups this season. He's one of the best true freshmen in the country. He has 4 siblings, by the way, that all play D1 sports, and his dad play in the NFL. Talk about elite athletic bloodlines. His 5 interceptions this season came from multi-interception games. He had 2 versus Clemson, 3 versus Boston College. If I'm discalculating that, I'm sorry. I could have just got that mixed up. But I'm pretty sure it's 2 versus Clemson, 3 versus Boston College. I don't think I'm tripping. Stellar athlete with elite speed. Terrific. 6 foot, 180-pound frame. I'm going to be stunned if he's not a first rounder in 2025. I'll double down on that. If he's not a top 15 pick, I'm going to be shocked. Benjamin Morrison is so good. Lockdown corner potential. And this is a big opportunity for him against South Carolina, a team that wants to throw the ball all over the yard. And you got to go up against Antoine Wells, a pretty dang good receiver. Arizona Bowl. Ohio cornerback Torrey Cox Jr. He's the son of an NFL player himself. 50 tackles, 2 interceptions, 6 pass breakups, 2 forced fumbles this season. He enjoyed a breakout campaign as a 19-year-old redshirt freshman, but he's flown under the radar all year long. This is someone that I circled his name before the season because I looked at Ohio and I was like, yo, they're very old on defense and experience, and they had a down year last year. How are they going to fight back? And who could break out? And I circled Cox's name and yeah, Torrey has balled out this year. He's a feared hitter and a sound tackler. He plays a very physical brand of football, uses his hands extremely well. I'm not sure what his future holds, but he's plenty good enough to just transfer up and level after his game and play at a Power 5. And I think regardless of where he plays next season, he's worthy of being selected on day 2 in the 2024 draft. That speaks volumes to how good I think he is, because he'd be drafted as a 20-year-old. From what I'm saying right now, we'll say he enters from the MAC and from Ohio. That's a 20-year-old that I think is worthy of being picked day 2 in the 2024 NFL draft. The Orange Bowl, yeah, I could say Clay Klubnik, or I could say Clemson wide receiver Antonio Williams, who had 53 catches for 563 and 4 touchdowns this season. Clemson has been starving for a true WR1 as of late, and they might have that in Antonio Williams. With Cade Klubnik officially taking over the reins at quarterback for Clemson, a new era is upon us. I expect Williams and Cade to mesh very well. He's played exceptional football in less than ideal situations in this Clemson offensive scheme this season. He's just an 18-year-old true freshman that's doing it big in the ACC. I love that. Things that pop off the screen are his explosiveness and the ability to create space. Sugar Bowl. Alabama linebacker Deontay Lawson. Again, someone you might not have heard of, but you're going to hear his name all the time very soon. 45 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, 4 pass breakouts this season. Time for you to meet the next great Alabama defender. Lawson could be one of them, man. 6'2", 217-pound tank, promising blend of size and quickness. I want to see his pass rushing make a splash in 2023. I expect him to add more weight and muscle going into next season. He could very easily end up being the best demon on the Bama defense next season. So buy some stock now. Well, I guess there's a lot of dudes there, like Dallas Turner. Oh, man. Okay. Yeah, we'll just say Deontay Lawson's going to be one of the many demons on Alabama's defense next season, but he's going to be one of the top 2. Maybe it ain't 2. I don't know. Music City Bowl is Iowa, Kentucky. And I really thought about just making a joke and going with Torrey Taylor, the Iowa punter. And I thought, it's too obvious. I've got to go with Iowa tight end Luke Lachey. He only had 25 catches this season for 362 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns, but the Iowa offense was impossibly bad. And Luke Lachey is a dog. While the passing game might be tough to watch, lock in on number 85 and watch his tenacious and ferocious blocking skills pop off the screen. He's a gifted 6'6" athlete that hasn't had the opportunity to make plays due to that inept offense that he plays for. NFL written all over him. Underrated route runner with amazing hands. He's next in that Iowa tight end Fiesta Bowl, TCU running back Keandre Milton. 216 carries, 1,342 rushing yards, 17 touchdowns. I'm going to die on the hill once again. I think Kendrick Miller is the best player on this TCU team. I think he's got the best NFL potential as well. Unreal balance before and after contact. Slick movement. He wins with exquisite speed, burst, and quickness. I think he's got stupendous contact balance. I love the way that he bounces off incoming tacklers. I've been very outspoken about how TCU needs to get him more involved in the receiving game. I expect that to be in the case in the NFL. Haven't been able to see that at TCU for whatever reason. It doesn't make sense. When you get Kendra the ball in the open field, it's game over for college defenders. I don't understand why Garrett Riley and Sonny Dykes aren't seeing that. Do it against Michigan, please, and let his talent pop off the screen. Peach Bowl, Georgia center Cedric Van Pran, 6'4", 310 behemoth. I think he's undoubtedly the best center in the country, the best center in the upcoming draft. He's been a dominant force in the SEC as a youngster. He's going to be drafted as a 21-year-old if he leaves this season. Nimble feet, insane upper body strength. He's so good in pass protection and in run support, and I just love the gaps that he creates and the work he does downfield. He's like the unsung hero of this Georgia offense. You'll hear so much about Bowers and Darnell and Stetson and Cedric Van Pran. SVP is him. He's going to be a hot commodity amongst NFL teams. I'm puzzled as to why NFL draft fans aren't drooling over him already and haven't all season. It makes no sense to me. Look at what number 63 is doing for Georgia in this game. Watch him. Watch what he's able to create downfield too when Georgia throws a screen. He's a dog. ReliaQuest Bowl. Yeah, this was the Outback Bowl, and then they changed the name for some reason. Awful stuff. Going with Mississippi State receiver Caleb Ducking. He had 44 catches for 467 receiving yards and 8 touchdowns this season. Formerly of Holmes Community College in Mississippi. 6'5" tower. Does a tremendous red zone piece. He has a solid release and route running ability is pretty solid. I need him to score a touchdown, though, so we could witness this man get more excited than a kid at a toy store as Ducking does the Waddle celebration that he and Jalen Waddle love so dang much. Honestly, half the reason I picked him is because I want the Caleb Ducking Waddle celebration to happen. Cotton Bowl. A lot of players I could have picked between Tulane and USC. Thought about going in the trenches for Tulane, but we've just got to bring up running back Tyjae Spears, who I've been fascinated with since 2020. 212 carries for 1,376 rushing yards and 15 touchdowns. He added 21 catches for 242 and 2 touchdowns in a receiving game. He's a home run hitter that has supreme speed and graceful movement, but nobody really knows. This is a guy that nearly retired a few years ago due to a leg injury that he suffered. Like, it's stunning to see how amazing the Spears looks on the field and how like crisp and slick his movement is and everything. And just, this is a guy that nearly retired and nobody's talking about it, and that stuns me. It's going to be so fun to see how Tyjae Spears fares against this SC defense that is world famous for missing tackles. Citrus Bowl. LSU linebacker Harold Perkins Jr. Like, obviously, this is the best true freshman in the sport, and he's already emerged as one of the best defenders in the country. 69 tackles, 11.5 tackles for loss, 6.5 sacks, 1 interception, 2 pass breakups, 3 forced fumbles. Yeah, he's him. He's him. 18 years old. He is 18 years old. He's in the SEC, and he's playing at a dominant All-American-esque level. He should not be doing what he's doing. He's way too ahead of where any kid his age should be. He's a master of the QB spy. He's faster than Usain Bolt running a 40-yard dash. He's quicker than a Muhammad Ali punch. He's the total package with his speed, power, violence, and high IQ. He just needs to get better against the run, and that'll come because he's still developing. He's still blossoming into that elite talent. He's going to be one of the first players drafted in 2025. When this guy continues to just get tougher and stronger, it's scary to think about where Harold Perkins Jr. is going to be next season and beyond. Last one. Yes, we're not doing national championship because that doesn't make sense. We're not doing FCS stuff because I can't predict who's going to play in the title game. They're not so nice. But yes, last one, Rose Bowl. Utah running back JaQuinton Jackson, 65 carries for 450 and 8 touchdowns this season. He's a third-year freshman who was a highly coveted recruit coming out of Texas as a quarterback, and he went to Texas. Now he's at Utah. He was on roster last year as quarterback, eventually changed and played running back, and he's stuck at running back this year. He's playing very well for Utah, expecting him to get more work in this game and beyond. He's battled injuries his entire career, but it's so good to see him healthy and balling out. This guy is a force at 6'2", 227. He's got pretty solid speed, elite leg strength. JaQuinton Jackson is a joy to watch. And now, unfortunately, that's all of them. There's no more to talk about. you have to say goodbye to me now, but please in the comments below, let me know what players that you're looking forward to watching in bowl season. Again, please consider liking and subscribing. We appreciate that a lot. And yeah, enjoy bowl season. See you.